the strength and security that comes from me being from a loving home, I think gives you such freedom. And I suppose confidence, whatever in what you do. And I think so many people don't have that, and you become so impressionable because I think you're looking for a sense of belonging. That's how people groom, or it's like even football hooliganism or a certain sect or anything. People are just trying to look for a sense of belonging, and it doesn't really matter what that is. So I think it's quite scary, that. Sorry, that was a bit tangenty from it, but I think there's such strength in that sense of community, because it takes you out of I think there was a phrase that was brought to my attention last year maybe, of don't think any less of yourself, just think of yourself less. You know, where everyone now is on this self-worth journey and think, oh, I know my worth. Like, yeah, cool. Like, that's fine. I know my worth. I'm not. But just think of yourself less. Like, the more that you talk about yourself, you're not like, do you know what I mean? You're, it's not cool. Think of yourself less. Put the onus, I say my eldest is called Francis. The prayer of Francis of Assisi is like, learn to love or console. Don't look to always be consoled. Don't love. Don't always ask to be loved. And it's a lesson I always think, if I'm not getting on with my husband or whatever, it's like, I'm making it about me. Oh, you're not doing this for me. You're like, flip that. Even if you have to force yourself, if it doesn't come naturally, how do I serve this rather than always looking for the thing for me? And it's so liberating. It's like a light bulb thing. And I don't think we do that enough as a society.
The irony of that, though, is the more you do for others, the more you feel it back. Because
I
actually think a huge amount of our joy comes from giving.
Yeah, there's no selfless good deed. Yeah. It's I do believe, I'm a little bit thing that I believe in energy. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So it's a cycle. It might not come back to you that day and you think, oh, well, the system's fucked then, but it might come back to you. Sorry, I feel like I've sworn a lot on this podcast. I know, sorry.
You've obviously not seen any of my content.
But it might come back 10 years later.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think everything that you've put out there all your life, and I think that's something else. Maybe we've slowed down a little bit, but people want that quick win. They want a quick fix. And I think that's not always reality.
I also think that social media has really perpetuated this self-indulgent stuff, because like,
you articulated that so much better in that one sentence.
No, but it's true. Like,
yeah.
I think it's a black mirror. We're all just sitting there like looking into ourselves over and over. Oh my God, I relate to that. I relate to that. And that's part of the human experience, right? It's finding connection and relating to people. But I think when you spend, and by the way, I've had therapy on and off for 15 years, so I'm not above, the self-indulgence piece. And therapy is very self-indulgent, regardless of whether you need it for mental health issues or not. But I do think we spend a huge amount of time looking for faults in ourselves and like looking for ways in which we can improve and, how can we be loved? And to your point about we're valuable but actually I think if you said about growing up in a really safe home and you kind of feeling like that, you can validate yourself without having to tell the world that you're validated. Like, do you know what I mean?
And that when you're saying, oh, I've got this fault. Yeah, of course you have.
Yeah.
Take the thing off it. I remember I've got a friend who I'm going to see her baby tomorrow. Really good friend for years. She's
baby.
Irish. Yeah, her first.
The squishy stage.
Yeah. And we were getting ready. She's from Northern Ireland and we were getting ready to go out, like, and being so like, and her mum was like, girls, no one's looking at you, so get over yourself. And again, so liberating, thinking, no one's looking at us anyway in this club, so don't worry whether your mascara's perfect. So it's a bit like that. Of course you've got faults. Don't look to fix every single fault you've got. You'd be like...
It's like focus on your strengths.
You just be doing the thing, or just don't focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Just think, that's me. I'm just going to crack on and do something else today that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And it's just... You might find that fault sorts itself out anyway, if it is a fault. Not like
that's self-confidence, though. Like that's like really
that's
like going like this is me.
Yeah, and you've
that's
got
proper
to be
authenticity. Yeah,
just don't think. Just crack on.
Yeah,
I quite like. So my mum now, everyone obviously and people have surgery for whatever reasons. Do you know what I mean? Cool, but my mum says back in the day, oh, that's the girl with the big nose. That's the girl with the big mole on her face. Like that's just who they are.
Yeah.
Whereas now, because everyone's got this ideal of what it should be, then pardon?
Everyone looks the same.
Yeah, it's
I have this
strange.
friend, and I'll never name her because she's so fucking beautiful, and is so like, and I really mean that. Like, I'm not like a friend saying my friend's beautiful. Like, really, if you saw her working down the street, you'd be like, oh my God, who is that? And
I saw something in a book this morning. Sorry, would you rather be really handsome or really rich? What would you rather be?
Oh, that's a really hard
Yeah,
question.
it is in this Billy Connolly book.
Do you know what's funny?
Sorry, I'll come back to the beautiful girl.
Yeah, no, I like money. What can I say? I like nice holidays.
And maybe you can buy yourself to be really handsome nowadays, can't you?
I don't know if I would though. I think if you've got
With
money.
your
Because both are a means
really
to an
rich,
end, right?
maybe.
If you're really attractive, you typically get opportunities in life. If you're really rich, you get opportunities in life. So it's like, pick
But
a
on your
lane.
deathbed, would you rather be really pretty,
Rich,
still with your rich? Yeah. I'd rather be rich than famous.
100%.
Yeah. But I've never thought about really pretty or really.
But I'm like, I think both come with cons, right? You're really pretty. People like just want to be around you because you're really pretty. You're really rich. People just want to be around you because you're really rich.
Yeah. But anyway, so you're really pretty.
I love
friends.
that question.
So, yeah, you should put that into your top 10. Yeah. I'll listen to the next podcast. Being like, it's not from me, it's from Billy Connolly.
My previous guest, Lucy, said. But
so you're a really pretty friend.
But she has this really Roman nose, and
I love a big nose.
So striking.
Yeah.
And it's.
I'm not just saying that. I'm being really biased by big nose, big ears, and they keep growing when you get older. I'm going to get through the. Don't look like BFG in like 20 years. Go on.
She's really, really gorgeous, but has this really striking nose. And her whole life she's been so insecure about it. Like she's wanted nose jobs or whatever. And then she got a nose job. And now she just looks like everyone else.
Oh, killer.
And it's you know what? Like her, I look at pictures of when we were younger.
I'm not going to say her name. Your mate's going to know that this is
I've
spoken
to her about it. I've spoken to her about it. And not in a like, oh my God, you shouldn't have done that way. But and I don't think that at all. It was right. She wanted to do it and it's her, whatever. But she was and she still is so beautiful. Yeah. But it's not solved the insecurity. It never does. Insecurity about something else now.
It never does. And you think, but whether it's even if it's plastic surgery, but if I'm rich, do you know what I mean? If I earn that, then things will be sweet. Yeah. Or if I lose weight,
it's never.
Then I'll feel good in myself. No, an anorexic is still wants to lose weight. Do you know what I mean? You need to change your head, not anything.
But that is so true. Like we spend our lives doing that. Just when I just when I find the love of my life, I'll be happy. Just when I get that car, I'm going to be. When I. And every time you hit that goal, it's like you're more. It almost takes a piece of your soul away more than when you didn't hit the previous one, or you did hit the previous.
Stephen Fry talks about it a bit. He was like, that dream of like suburbia, but then when you've got that little house in the country with your 2 kids, whatever it is, then what? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And actually, that was quite conscious for me a couple of years ago. So when we, in COVID, all e-com businesses, everyone was in your ear like, this is what your business is worth. There was a lot of acquisition and stuff. And I think I got a bit consumed and distracted by that. And there was so much emphasis on that end goal. Okay, if I sell the business, like this is that's the check that then you'll be happy. I'm so pleased. Do you know what I mean? I'm so not in that space now. But for a little bit, and because when you got that, nothing's going to change. One, it's not a big wand and it's something that's quick and everything's fine anyway, but that doesn't happen. So one, that might never come. So if you're chasing something, the goalposts are just always moving. So yeah, it was quite conscious a couple of years ago to just really enjoy, sounds super profound, really enjoy the journey and actually find that interesting every day. So which probably will, things could go tits up tomorrow. Never sell another dress and okay. Huh?
How do you find that balance between, like, obviously you want to grow, like, the business is amazing, you want to reach new audiences, you want to whatever, with enjoying
just put it in perspective. So yeah, of course it's lovely to grow your business because I say it's nice. I think it's really fulfilling and you want to do better and you push yourself. They're all goals, but you're selling clothes. Do you know what I mean?
I love you so much. You're amazing.
No, but okay.
We say that I'm like, no, we're not like brain
saving
surgeons.
Lives,
yeah, we're literally social media.
Much more, yeah. So it's amazing. I love our team. I love seeing people grow. I love working together. I love all of that. But you've got to just put things in perspective. So I don't know how you get that balance. It's a progress. It's learning. It's making tiny little changes of maybe you looking at things differently, and do something small. And then in a year's time you think, oh, actually, I think my mind, because that's not going to happen overnight. You can't tell yourself you're going to feel a different way. And in, say maybe a year, like, oh, actually, I do genuinely feel differently about a situation than I did a year ago. But it takes time and discipline if you want to make a change, yeah.
Did you ever have a point where you were like, oh, wow, like that's really tempting, like to exit or to sell?
No. Otherwise, maybe I would have done it. I'm quite impulsive, maybe. Like if something was right.
Yeah.
And I really believe in Never Fully Dressed. I believe in the future of it. And I've always said I'm open to what my role is in the future of it. I would much rather see the potential play out and make the voice and the brand what it can be. And if I hinder that in the slightest, or if I'm not adding to that, then I'm open to what that looks like. But until then, do you know what I mean? I'll do everything I can to raise that voice. So no, I don't think the right thing, obviously, because we're still sitting here and I'm doing what I do. But yeah,